I'm 82 years old, and I'm sitting alone in my kitchen as I say this. The house is quiet now, and for the first time in my life, I'm not strong enough to pretend that doesn't matter. I've spent most of my life being the strong one, the dependable one, the man who didn't break, didn't complain, didn't slow down. People used to say they admired that about me. I believed them. I built my whole life around it. I'm not telling this because I want praise. And I'm not telling it because I want sympathy. I'm telling it because time has thinned out around me and the truth doesn't have much place left to hide. When you're 82, you don't think in years anymore. You think in mornings. You think in how many times you might still hear certain voices, if at all. I wake up early now, not because I want to. My body just does it. Some mornings my chest feels tight, not from pain exactly, but from something heavier, something that doesn't have a name doctors can write down. It's the weight of realizing that the strength I was so proud of came with a price I didn't know I was paying. For a long time, I thought strength meant not needing anyone. It meant swallowing things. It meant staying upright no matter what was falling apart inside. I learned that young. My father was that way. He worked until his hands were cracked and his back curved forward. And I don't remember him ever saying he was tired. He wasn't cruel. He just believed feelings were private things best kept out of sight. When I was in my 20s, I carried that lesson like a rule. I had a job that demanded long hours. I had responsibilities that felt important. I told myself I was doing what a good man was supposed to do. Providing, showing up, holding everything together. I didn't think I was choosing work over people. I thought I was choosing people by working. I remember coming home late, loosening my tie in the dark so I wouldn't wake anyone. Sometimes the kids would already be asleep. Sometimes my wife would be waiting up, pretending to read. She'd ask how my day was. I'd say fine, and think that was enough. I didn't realize how often fine became the end of the conversation. I didn't notice how silence settled in gently, the way dust does when you stop opening windows. I missed things without meaning to. School events. Little stories that didn't get told again once they went unheard. When someone was upset, I'd say, "It'll be okay." I thought that was comfort. I didn't understand that sometimes people don't want reassurance. They want presence. But presence takes time. And time was always something I believed I'd have more of later. In my 40s, I was tired, but proud. Bills were paid, the house was stable. From the outside, it looked like success. Inside, I was hollow in places I didn't know how to reach. Instead of asking why, I just worked harder. Strength became my identity. If something hurt, I endured it. If someone pulled away, I told myself they understood. I didn't cry when my mother died. People praised me for that too. They said I was handling it well. What they didn't see was me sitting alone in my car afterward, gripping the steering wheel, because if I let go, something might come apart. I told myself that was just how grief worked for me. Quiet. Controlled. Years passed that way, not dramatically, just steadily. Relationships don't usually end with explosions. Most of the time, they thin out. They become polite. They become careful. My marriage didn't fall apart. It simply grew quiet in a way that never quite reversed. My children grew up knowing I was reliable. They didn't grow up knowing me. That's a hard sentence to say out loud. Harder to admit it's true. When I retired, people threw a small party. They thanked me for my dedication. I smiled for photos. Then I went home and the phone stopped ringing. Without work, I didn't know who I was supposed to be. Strength without a task doesn't know where to go. That's when the cost began to show itself more clearly. Not all at once. In small, quiet ways. I realized I didn't know how to ask for company without feeling like a burden. I realized I didn't know how to say, I'm lonely, without feeling weak. Then came the moment that changed everything. It wasn't dramatic. My wife got sick. Not suddenly. Just enough that hospital visits became part of our routine. I sat beside her bed, holding her hand, and I wanted to say everything I'd held in for decades. But the words didn't come easily. Strength had trained them out of me. She looked at me one afternoon and said very softly, "You don't have to be so brave with me." I didn't know how to answer that. I didn't know how to stop. She passed a few months later. People told me I'd been strong through it. They meant it kindly. But strength didn't help me when the house echoed after she was gone. It didn't help me when I reached for my phone and realized I didn't know who to call. Grief stripped something away. And underneath it was a man who had never learned how to be held. That's when clarity arrived. Not like a revelation, more like a quiet, painful understanding. I saw how many moments I'd postponed, how many conversations I assumed could wait, how often I chose being useful over being close. There are things that can't be fixed at 82. You can't go back and sit on the floor with your children when they were small. You can't re-enter a marriage at the beginning and speak differently. Some doors don't close loudly, they just lock without you noticing. I see my children now on holidays. We're kind to each other, we're polite, but there's a distance that time alone doesn't bridge. It was built slowly, and it doesn't come down easily. I don't blame them. They built lives of their own. I just wish I'd understood sooner that strength isn't silence, that love needs to be spoken while it can still be heard. If you're listening to this and you're younger than me, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't believe in giving instructions anymore. I can only tell you what I know now. Being strong kept me standing, but it didn't keep me connected. It protected me from breaking, but it also kept me from opening. There is a kind of courage in letting people see you tired, in admitting you need them. I didn't learn that until most of my chances to practice were gone. Now, my days are quieter. I move slower. I notice the light more. Some evenings I talk out loud just to hear a voice in the room. I don't mind admitting that anymore. I'm grateful for the life I had, and I'm sorrowful for the parts I never fully lived. Both things can exist together. I know that now. I don't have many years left. I feel that in my bones. So I speak more honestly than I ever did when I was busy being strong. If this meant something to you, maybe sit with it for a moment. Not to change your life, just to notice it. That's all I wanted to say.